Recently, I worked on building an MVP for a product company who was trying to solve the problem of issues with the address. They were trying to make it easier to share the coordinates and also intuitive. For this, we used the hierarchical uh, hexagonal hierarchical spatial index that was created by Uber called as H3. When you're trying to tile the surface of the earth, you can use regular polygons like triangles, squares, or hexagons. But the problem with using triangular and square polygons is that two adjacent polygons will not be equidistant. The distance between the centers of two adjacent polygons will not be equal. So now, for example, if you consider this is the triangle, these three triangles will be equidistant, but the diagonal triangles will not be equidistant. Similarly, the same issue is present for even the squares. So Uber chose hexagons because each hexagon is surrounded by 6 other hexagons, and all the adjacent hexagons are equidistant from the hexagon of interest. What we did was we took the Bangalore map, we selected an area of interest and filled it with hexagons. In H3 there are different resolutions, and what happens with each higher resolution is that one particular hexagon can be composed of 7 smaller hexagons. So if you want to increase the granularity, you just need to fill the hexagon with 7 other hexagons. As you can see here, now let us say if you want to go from this hexagon to this any of these hexagons, you just increase the resolution and each of these hexagons will have a particular code that is associated with it. Similarly, you can keep increasing the resolution until you are satisfied and you get a resolution that is good enough for you. So to make it more intuitive, what we did was, as the user zooms in, right, so first it will show the hexagon that is relevant to whatever is the zoom level, and as he zooms further, we replace it with the hexagons of higher resolution so that he can select the hexagon of interest and then get the details of that particular hexagon. So he can keep doing this until the resolution is increased and he gets whatever the hexagon that's of his choice and satisfies the conditions for him. And once you are done with the hexagon, so you will be able to like click on a particular hexagon, and then you will be able to share the location with other people. So let's look at an example. So now if you look, this is for Indiranagar, and let us say you want any particular hexagon, you can just click on this, and when you click on this, you get the unique ID that is generated as per the requirement. You click on the link navigate, which will take you to Google Maps for that particular lat long. So there's a direct mapping between the hex ID, H3 ID that is generated and the lat long, and similarly the user can copy and share the link, and when he shares the link, it is passed in the parameter so that he goes to the exact location. And for converting from the hex ID to the ID that location wanted, we used a logic where they want, because the first address in surrounding areas are generally the same, they wanted to make it easier for the users to remember by making it numerical. So for that we used a particular logic, and even to explore that logic, I created this interface where they know what is the exact functions that are being used for converting from location ID to H3 ID and from H3 ID to location ID. And we wanted to make it interactive so that it's easier for users to understand. This is the logic where we convert H3 ID into two different parts. The first thing is we break it down into two parts, the first part and the second part. The first part is converted from hex to the base 36 so that the number of characters will come down, and for the last 4, instead of keeping it hexagon, which can be little confusing, we converted that to base 10 so that it becomes like a 5-digit number, which is easier for the users to remember, similar to the phone numbers. So this is H3 makes it like easier, and one of the major things is that as the granularity increases also, the logic is consistent. So you start with the least granularity that is required and you keep zooming in until you get the granularity that you are happy with, and then share the coordinates or the code that is generated so that it becomes easier for the last mile address delivery. Thank you for watching this. If you're interested in more of H3, explore H3 blog that is written by Uber. Thank you.